Now presenting Mr. Mike Coyne, Governor's Hurricane Conference Board member representing the National Weather Service.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our next award is the Tropical Meteorology Award. It's presented to an individual or organization that has made outstanding or substantial contributions to the advancement and knowledge, application, or understanding of the hurricane forecasting and warning process in the state of Florida. Since 2004, Mr. Mike Boylan has been educating people about trends, model runs, and everything else tropical weather related through his website. He does not forecast, but his dedication and contributions to the citizens of Florida and providing tropical weather information in layman's terms, helping to explain what the forecast trends mean and how to follow all the extensive maps, charts, and graphs located on his website, Mike's weather page, aka spaghettimodels.com. The 2021 Tropical Meteorology Award goes to Mike Boylan of Mike's weather page.
Just click on Mike's page, Drum Donkey Nation. Well, there'll always be some haters. They don't understand. Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells your friend, Mike, he's your man. And he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm or if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Yeah, here on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide.
All right, good morning, everybody. Oh, what's happening? A little late. It's Tuesday. Not used to doing these on a Tuesday, so nothing worked right. The computer was like, "What is going on? Why are we going live on a Tuesday?" We got to get back into the swing of things, right? That's what we do here. We normally go Monday through Friday, right, James? We'll be live tomorrow. Hey Richard, how you been, buddy? It was the third time starting the daily brew over on our Brew Crew side. I hit the button earlier, we went live, and then I had to just shut it down and start over again. So we'll try it again. We're doing better today. Louis actually played last night. I was so happy. He was pouncing on me on the couch. He was growling and nipping at me. So he did pretty good. So a lot better day today than yesterday. So hey, let's talk about the weather. Greg Montgomery, holy cow, my boy, Mr. Furman. Generators. I get that question almost every day about the code. Yes, we still have the code. MWP30. 30% off Furman generator. One of the largest. I don't know if it's it. Are you now the largest in the U.S.? I think you're the largest in Canada. But it is hurricane season, and if you're curious, on that 30% link, it is right here. 30% off free shipping. Check it out. A lot of our MWPs now have become Furman supporters, and we appreciate that. There's a current radar. Let's put that up for a second before we say too much about the weather. Monticello I know where that's at. Marcia just got a lightning alert. Oh, Dave Waters, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Tom. Crafty Beach, good morning. You have the largest brand share in North America? Are you kidding me? Furman Power Equipment, the largest brand share in all of North America. And when we started together, I didn't even know Greg's name and never even heard of Furman. True story. First time I met the Furman guys, we were at Bahama Breeze in Tampa, and I kept calling Greg Jason and Jason Greg, and they were laughing. They're best buds. We can joke like that now, but they were looking at each other. They're laughing. They finally told me 10 minutes later, by the way, I'm Jason, and this is Greg. And I'm like, oh, I felt so stupid. But if you know me by now, I could pretty much mess everybody's names up. Doesn't matter who you are. The more I mess up, the more I like you. So that's the way we do it. Maya, good morning. Greetings from Colorado, Mr. David. How about that? Billy K. What's up, buddy? Appreciate your text about little Hunter. Mike Soul, yeah, you got yours. Good morning, Billy. So anyway, we're storming here. We're going to talk about that a little bit. This is current satellite. I mean, you got a big old system going through Texas. Texas has had all kinds of weather this season. This is current lightning map with the sun coming up. We got big storms went through Mobile. When I went to bed last night, we were showing that line. I posted it because it looked like it was going to happen, and it did happen. We had a couple teasers throughout the day, and then the big line came through overnight. And I was a little surprised this morning it was still pushing its way through the upper Gulf Panhandle up and through Georgia there. And then we had a sneaky little line pop out of nowhere, totally out of nowhere. If you kind of focus on where I'm at, we had nothing, then boom. Sometimes when the sun goes, we get that initial sunrise. Sometimes we get these little storms popping up. So that was a sneaky little system. We had also some down in South Florida too. It seemed like as soon as that sun came out, these little popcorn storms popped up. Yeah, Louis, right there. You looking at him? Yeah, Louis watching. Oh, man. Oh, thank you, Trend. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was every day it'll be a little better, a little easier. For sure. Fire pit and maintenance time. That's right. Hey, Brandy, good morning. What's up, Mr. Phil? Ocala, Lisa, you got maybe a little rain coming your way. Look to the west there. But hurricane season's taking its time to get going, which is kind of new. Or normal, not new. Normal. All right, let's go. Let's put Louis down. Louis, look over there. Looks like we're looking at the map. I'm going to do it. This is for my screenshot. We're going to point like that. Oh, it's good to see Louis doing a lot better. Hey, I had a nice little letter yesterday. I don't know who it was from, but we got a couple cool challenge coins here. Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission. Got a nice little patch here. And nice little letter. I always like these little notes. One day I'm going to have a little office. I'm going to hang all this stuff up. So I'll read it. Oh, Alicia C., if you're listening, thank you. I got your package. She mentions ABC here. She goes, it's about that time of the year. Enjoy your patch. Remember to enjoy your ABC hauls responsibly. It's good when like Greg in there. It's good when the sponsors are recognized by the fans. So she collects hurricane deployments like some people collect shot glasses. Matthew, Irma, Michael, Ian, Helene, holy cow. So, but thank you, Alicia, for the challenge coin and patch. And I will hang up your little note one day and show off. So, anyway, big thanks to ABC Fine Wine Spirits. This is our daily brew. It's raining like cats and dogs right now, whatever that came from. There you go. There's current radar. Let me show you another cool radar site. A lot of people don't know about this one. Windy. Did you know Windy has its own little radar? When we went to the Panhandle helicopter up there and did our little flight, they had a huge TV, and they had windy on with the radar. That was awesome. And I forget how cool the windy radar is. And I like the lightning because it kind of like a smooth effect, you know. So that's the first thing I put on this morning when I thought I heard thunder. So I was sitting here and I thought I heard a thunder. And I was like, maybe it's a garbage man. Because I knew we were going to go, I knew we were going to be live today. And my brain was thinking Wednesday because we only go Monday, Wednesday, Friday this time of year. So I'm like, yeah, it's the garbage truck. And then I heard it again. I'm like, wait a minute, it's Tuesday. Well, then I heard it again and I'm like, all right, let's put the radar on. I'm like, whoa. Brian, I will make a mug for sure with Hunter. You got that for sure, for sure. I have my cup with Louie. Julie just went out and got me iced coffee, so no cup today. Charleston got some storms the last few days, Bruce. Mexico NASCAR this weekend. Wow, I forgot. I'm gonna have to do that. I don't even really know where that's at. But this is a cool app. Brad, yeah, listen, Brad, you're in Clearwater. Here's the secret. Shh. When we get these morning rains, guess what? It's going to be awesome this afternoon and evening. Okay, all this goes inland. Now, there is a little bit of moisture out there in the Gulf, but I think it's going to fizzle out. But usually in Florida, when we get these morning showers, it's nice later today. A little hot and steamy, but it's beautiful because all the clouds are now working inland, and that means you're going to have a nice sun on the west side. So typically this weather pattern, this flow that we're in, a little more morning showers inland midday and more off to the east. So we might take the boat out later. So that's how confident I am. Crackling sound. Oh my God. Well, hey, it's the perfect day for audio to be, everything be messed up today. Well, let's see if we can try something different here. Let's do voice isolation. All right, Brew Crew, let me know if this helps. We're doing a little R&D here. And then we're going to get into the weather. I promise. There we go. All right, so let's try this here. Hang on a second. As we have the lightning strikes crackling in the background. Okay, voice isolation. Let's see if that was a little better. Brew Crew. If not, it's Tuesday. Better. Good. All right, I got to remember voice isolation. Remember to let me know that, Shelly. Hey, Brew Crew, by the way, we announced our cruise for next season. Don't miss out. We're going to make it public here in a couple days. Can't wait to share that one. North Carolina rain yesterday, Gus. Yep. Tyler, you're not related to Rusty Walls, are you? Morning, Felicia. Morning from the UK, Alexis. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Crackling again. Oh, my God. What the hell's going on here? I'm trying to diagnose it. Since it's a Tuesday, we can be a little off script. Let's see. Microphone blue. Let me try a different microphone. No, that one's good. I need a secondary microphone. Could be. Anyway. All right. At least there's nothing bad. All right, so there's your radar. Listen, some of these storm clouds are moving in throughout the day today. We're going to actually have a little bit of rotation too. It's kind of like a low pressure. And now a lot of these storms are going to be making the East Coast. We're going to show you. But this is current. There's satellite showing you that lightning happening right now, getting close to the villages there. Homosassa Springs, all my friends, Ocala getting a storm right now. And this is working its way northeast. We had some storms this morning down in South Florida popping too. Down in the Miami area and Fort Lauderdale. All of this flow kind of came out from the south this morning. So that was pretty wild for sure. Tropics. Lulick, good morning. Sound. Yep, Wendy's free app. Greg, it's because you jumped on a Tuesday. So there's your tropics. Let's go talk about it. Let me turn off voice oscillation again. See if that helps. Good to see this, right? If you don't want tropical activity, the first thing you should do in the morning and at night is check the National Hurricane Center. This comes out every 6 hours, usually before 8 a.m., 2 p.m., 8 p.m., and 2 a.m. We usually pick up on things, too, ahead of time. So, you know, there's really nothing out there to really get going. A lot of just sit back and wait. June and July are typically very slow. And emotions start getting involved this time of year. The season's a bust. The forecasters are clueless. But June and July are typically slow. Actually, November is usually busier than June and July, believe it or not. So, kind of normal. But that's where we're at. The Pacific side is busy. Look at, we might have a new name. Now, I screwed up yesterday. Is that any better, Shelly? I took the isolation off again. Haiti. Cool. We've been down that way. MT Mapes. How's it going, buddy? Angel Baby, good morning. Yeah, Wendy's a good app. I really like it. I screwed up yesterday. I felt so silly. More than normal silly. I said Barbara and Cosmo. I kept calling Cosme Cosmo, and I typed up Cosmo. And I even did a little reel, called it Cosmo, and finally somebody corrected me. And then I'm like, you know what? That's why I don't cover the Pacific. Yeah, brand new damn phone. One of the camera lenses took in moisture. I don't know how. It was in my pocket. I didn't even go in the water. Definitely got a flaw in it. They got to order me another camera lens, but I think Shelly talked me into getting a Pixel. So I think I'm going to get the Pixel Pro XL. I want the bigger one. Is the XL okay? And actually, they're cheaper than Android. But it really bummed me out. My S21 here has been through 9 hurricanes. And never had any issues. I got a brand new phone. Already got a camera error. I won't even open my camera. I had to trick it to open the selfie mode. Oh, I did reboot it just now. Let's see if that worked. No. It tries to open. Then it goes into a warning, warning, warning. Can't have this in a hurricane. Oh, Alexis, thank you about Hunter. Yes, Louis is doing a little better. We were really scared about Louis yesterday, but he really is doing okay. You know, I think if there is a good thing about this is he was with him when he passed, and we made sure that Louis kind of, you know, saw him, and hopefully he kind of understood. So, anyway, all right. There's tropics. So we might get. So anyway, it's Barbara and Cosme, and we got another system coming behind it. They're working under D, the D name. Now, I don't talk about the Pacific a lot, and a lot of people are like, "What about Hawaii?" It's very rare to get a system in Hawaii, but the reason being is we get a lot of cold water out here. You get a lot of flow, a lot of wind shear, so it's really hard for a system to head this direction. Most of the time, these fizzle out, and if you look at the current map here over there, let me zoom in on it and get over that way. And there you go. Where are they? Where did you go? There you are. There's the current look. This is basically showing you they're going to weaken. Green is tropical depression. A lot of cool water. They come off Central America down there. The water's warm. Tropical waves come across. They get going. You know, they have their intertropics convergence zone to help spin things up. And then they go north. The Coriolis effect heads north. And then they enter high shear. But more than anything, they get colder water. And the colder water helps dissipate them. So that's where we're at. Breaking news! Carrie, thank you. Michael, it's a great question. Michael just asked a very honest question. Why can't we just like dump dust into hurricanes? You know, I don't know. I would think, dry air and storms don't mix. It makes you wonder if there could be some sort of a device that would, go off and somehow pull in the moisture or dry or send out a dry, bring in the moisture, pull it in and let it escape to the galaxy. I don't know. But that's kind of the same theory. A little dry air, a little moist. When you put dry air and lack of moisture, if it's not moist. Lee over there on YouTube, thank you. Good morning. Morning, Isaac. Mr. How's it going? Yeah, Mike, I'm bringing it on. MT, I appreciate it, man. Every day is a little better. There's always little reminders everywhere. It really hurts, but that's the way it goes. I look at the positive, and I'm like, we got 6 awesome months after our big ordeal in December. And this was a completely separate situation, and we knew he had a bad heart. But we got 6 awesome months out of him, so. Bradley, good morning over there. All right, so here's the current map. So what is this map? This is called the global. No, it's not called global. It's called the Ensemble map. These are low pressure centers. Okay, these are not all hurricanes, but I love these tools. There's a million tools out there. This is basically a tool that I use and many others use, not just me. It shows you possible low pressure areas based on different changing weather patterns. And, if we started seeing signs of this big old Bermuda high weakening a little bit, some of these waves might get pulled up around. That's generally what happens. When we have a strong high like this, most of these waves are going to go down into South America, go across Central America there, which you see all these little lines. These are all the little low pressure areas that the Euro thinks in the next 15 days. So, we had a little bit of sign yesterday. I let everybody know there's still some on the GFS, but really, if we were to get anything this pattern, it would take this high to move just a little bit and maybe open the door for a little something to pull up into here. But far as everybody else goes, I mean, we're just in a I don't see anything in the next long range, couple weeks at least. So definitely, that's the areas to look at. But we've got a lot of dust that's helped cool the water a little bit, which is good, But it's normal this time of year. But that's where we're at. I put that big old red circle there showing you we got this big high pressure area. And the flow today, ironically, kind of came in like this a little bit, because this area that we saw overnight kind of temporarily weakened our high a little bit, and it's allowed a little bit of different moisture flow. That's how we get these morning rains. GFS Ensembles here. This is high pressure. Dark orange is high, going to kind of a creamy banana yellow. Now, let's do a little test. Hey, Shelly, by the way, I did something this morning. If you're wondering, Facebook offered a challenge that's supposed to go live in 2 days. And I don't know. We'll see what it does. But it sounds pretty neat. Did you see it? I'm sure you did. So we're going to be... I made it say storm chaser. Are you a storm chaser? ? And the challenge is to share how many storms you've been in and experienced in and share those experiences. And apparently people can, this is only on Facebook, but apparently people can react, and it ranks your post as the winner. Meaning who got the most engagement on their storm chasing story. So this will be kind of fun. It goes, yeah, I surely saw it. So yeah, we'll see. I don't know about your new badge name though. You got to explain that one to me. I wish we had one more letter because it could be MWP Storm Chaser, but it runs out. The R runs out. All right, so this is basically we got a big high over the Atlantic right now, and we got a lot of waves coming across. But this high is pushing things so far to the south that most of them are not able to break away and become independent, and they're crashing down in there in South America, and they go across Central America. So there are a couple, GFS ensembles that show this high weakening and allowing one of these little waves to lift up. And like I said, if we were to look at an area in the next 2 weeks, it would be this Western Gulf, lower BOC area, maybe even down to Belize area. But that would take that high to get pushed back. And what we saw with the GFS all year long is it does not do a very good job with upper air patterns. It never has. Even my buddy Dennis back 100 years ago, Dennis was saying the Euro has a better read on the upper level winds. GFS doesn't. So that's why the GFS kept showing a system pulling up into Florida there and the Gulf the last 3,000 weeks, it seems like. It's not reading that high pressure correctly, and that we have a strong high pressure. So, but if we were to see an area to pop, we'll see if it does. So, but nothing's shown. How you like that? Rainfall. Let's talk about the rain. Rain. Let me say hi to a few more folks. We're going to be live tomorrow. I got a big function over there. I'm hanging out with the state of Florida. I don't like that. We could do Storm Chaser. Here, I'm going to type it. This one will work. What do you, Brew Crew, think about this one? This one kind of looks good. Like that. No, not Brew Tracer. Damn it. We could do Storm Chaser without the... that kind of looks cool. So that one would work if we did that one next. We'll see how long. We'll do yours for a few weeks, and then we'll do mine. We'll alternate top fan badges. Oh, man. So anyway, we'll be live tomorrow. Excited about Thursday. State of Florida is doing a big emergency training week-long event. I'll be there Thursday. My good buddy Austin's putting it on. And get to see my good friends Stephanie and Kevin Guthrie. So they invited me over, and it's really cool. I get to hang out, with all the big industry, big dogs. And so, yeah, that's what I'll be doing. Then Friday, we got a big softball tournament. So that's why we're not live. Softball this summer. Going to be messing up some of our Fridays. There's no storms to talk about. I'm going to do my daily videos showing everybody the 90-second reels when there's something to talk about. But, that's the way it goes. You can always go to the website and find out when our next live is. Boom, right here. Brew Crew gets a calendar that you can see. But right there, showing you the next live. And obviously it says Tuesday, 6:10. Next one will be Wednesday, 6:11 tomorrow. So stop by and see us then. And we'll talk tropics. All right, a few more hellos. We're going to talk about the weather. We'll try to wrap it up by 10. Ian, we got Ian over there on YouTube down in Jamaica talking about the dust. Pretty bad, huh, Ian? I know that last plume was pretty intense. Yeah, this little challenge would be interesting when you see it pop up on Facebook. I'm really curious. John, do I have a link to my website for the windy radar? Yes, John, let me show you real quick. I want to talk about my good friends at Done Right here because it's raining really bad. Let me do this real quick. So, Pinellas County is my home, Hillsborough, Pasco. These first few rain days every year is when you start to see the yellow spot on your roof. I've had them. A couple times, mom and dad lived growing there. He's got one. Anyway, so unfortunately, when the rains come, you start to see roof damages. So anyway, we always like to throw a reminder to my locals that live here to call Done Right. They're good friends of mine. The orange and blue trucks that drive around, you see them everywhere, and they'll take care of you. So good friends of mine, and help support the page a little bit there. And a lot of my friends went that way. So that's for our local area. But as far as the windy app goes, John, here it is. I have the windy embedded. This is windy right here. This is lows. I like this part of the windy app because this is lows, highs, and shows you what's going on barometric pressure wise. But if you click on windy, boom, right there. There you go. There's windy. And if you want to hit radar, there it is. Very first top button, radar. Boom. And there you go. And you can zoom in. And you can go back in time. You can archive 12 hours. If you pay whatever it is, you can go back, I think, infinite months. If you want past radar and stuff, I believe. I think. Yeah, archive right here. See? So the number one question I get is, you have radar from like a week ago? Well, yeah, right here. Wendy's got it. You can go back in time and see it. So what day were we at Gulf Coast Jam? June 1st. Oh, it only goes back 9 days. This is the 9th. I don't know. Maybe it only goes back a day. Here's yesterday's radar. Maybe it's only 24 hours. I don't know. I think you go back in other things, but that's it. That's where it's at. So somebody asked, so I gave it to them. All right, rainfall for the next. Do you like Ventusky better, Jay? I know. So does Shelly. Jay, right? We got you back on too. Shelly figured it out. But Jay, yeah, I think Shelly likes Ventusky better. I do have a link to Ventusky. I don't think I've ever even clicked on it. But I have it on here because my site. I have more links than Google has. But right there's Ventusky. I just don't use it. Let's click on it. There it is. There's the wind pattern. Remember I was talking about the winds? So here's that wind pattern coming in off the Gulf. And that's why we had storms on the Florida West Coast today. The big line that I talked about this morning, I was so focused on that big line, I didn't even think about looking by us. And like I said, out of the blue, we got some storms pop. But that's pretty cool, Ventusky. But I do want to look back now that we were just talking about the history. I want to go back and look at the radar history because those storms really were crazy how they just came out of nowhere. So let's go to radar, and I want to go here to my house selfishly. Show you how I do things, what I look at. Zoom out here somewhere. There we go. Zoom, zoom, zoom. There we are. Boom, boom. I don't want to do street level. All right, right there. So if we go back in time, let me go back to, how far back will it go? Last 6 hours. So I woke up about 5:30. 5 a.m. I think I woke up about 5 o'clock. So here's 5 o'clock radar. Look at that. 5 o'clock radar this morning. And I'm tracking this line of storms that just went through Apalachicola. And Mr. Sullivan, if you're watching, hello. I was tracking all this going through Tallahassee. When I woke up, I'm like, yeah, that line. If you follow my post last night, we were talking about this line developing across the upper Gulf. And it's pretty potent this morning, 5 o'clock, And I'm like, yeah. Future radar has it fizzling out before it gets to the peninsula. And I'm like, yeah. And then all of a sudden I started hearing thunder. And look, watch this storm just pop up out of nowhere. Here's 5:30, nothing. You see one little dot down by Sarasota at 5:30 this morning. Here's 6 o'clock. Oh, it's getting juicy. Look at there's a little one Indian Rocks Beach, just 6 o'clock this morning. Then all of a sudden, look at like 7. This is when I started hearing thunder. Here's 7 o'clock. Look at this skinny little line. Isn't that amazing? Look at it. Then all of a sudden, 7:30, bam! Big old thunderstorm. I bet you we had a water spout maybe in the bay. This is water spout weather. Early morning is when we get a lot of water spouts when storms convection rises. But look at that, 7:30, and then bam! Look at that, just 8 o'clock. You talk about 2 hours. There's 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock. That's crazy. And now it's moving on inland. Look at that. That's crazy. Fascinating, right? Yes, it is. All right. Tornado warning in South Carolina. Barbara, weather. You're going to the Keys. Should be all right. Jay, yeah, I'll play around with it maybe. Yep, John just got a tornado warning too. Well, let's look at it. I'm going to do my best. Ryan Hall, Ryan Hall and Max Velocity do this. They look at radar. I'm more of a what's coming guy, not a what's happening guy. But I think WeatherWise has their own app. I think the app is on the PC version. It is. So let's pull it over here. I could be able to log in, but I'm not going to. Let's see here. The PC version is, oh, look at that. We just got a mesoscale discussion. So let's zoom in. This is WeatherWise, and it's got a really good PC format. You don't have to download anything. Oh, we did get a mesoscale discussion. All right, so we're going to flip over to radar there, and there it is. All kinds of light, but it looks like, look at that bow. So it's heading toward Adams Run. Probably radar indicated. Maybe this little bubble right here. I don't know. Not very clear, but definitely going to be some winds with it. And you could turn off all these if you wanted to. You can log in, and well, it did log me in. I must be logged in. But you can turn all this stuff off. But that's where we're at. So that's heading off to the east. So definitely, Charleston, be close to y'all. Want to be watching that radar. Man, there's a lot of that's confusing. I'd have to turn a lot of this stuff off. And what's amazing? Well, let's see. Here's Wednesday. That's tomorrow. Yeah, so just watch your radar. You got big storms coming in off of the west for you. Here's rainfall for the next 7 days. We got a lot of rain across Texas. We got the rainy season starting to show up again pretty strong here. I'm going to go into real quick. Penny, thank you. More rain. Jose, I think we are officially in the rainy season. And I'll show you why. All right, so there's that. Excessive rain for the next several days. Here's today. Heavy rain across Texas. Here's, what day is tomorrow? Wednesday. A little bit up in Oklahoma, but you can see today. Let me make it a little bigger so you kind of get an idea where we're at. There's today, tomorrow, Wednesday. Here's Thursday. So you can just see Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Notice down in Florida, even in the this is today. Obviously, Carolinas, we got that big old juicy thing coming across Upper Gulf, East Coast. Tomorrow, though, look down into Florida. And then look at on Thursday, down in Florida. And here's Friday, more. So look at this. We got today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. A lot of rain here across Mississippi region. And then it kind of flattens out a little bit. So there's your rain. Today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Storms today. Oh, I just closed it. Oh! That's error number 5 today. All right, here's storms today. Not blue sky. Because it's not here. It's gray sky. No, it is. We do have sun and shine out there. All right, come on. Come on. Why are you taking so long to load? There it is. All right. Storms today. There's this big old swooping down line. Texas all the way up towards the New Hampshire, Vermont area. And some on the Florida East Coast and all of the Atlantic seaboard. That's just normal thunderstorms here and there. Random isolated tornado today. Tomorrow, kind of lose all that energy. Just normal rains, nothing organized. Normal rains in the light green, darker green. So, not a lot of storms. Here's Thursday. So not a lot of weather coming up. Today, Wednesday, Thursday. So here's the precipitable water map. I like this one. So anytime it's yellow, anytime it's red, you get a lot of juice coming up out of this. And it all flows up around the Gulf usually, and it pulls up and just kind of spreads north. And this map doesn't show the Carolinas northward, but the same theory, all that juice gets pulled up. Red's really juicy. Doesn't mean it's rain. It just means there's moisture in the air. And when you have PWAT values around 1.5, 2 especially, PWAT is precipitable water, moist air. But watch what happens. We get a lot of this. This is tomorrow. More rains, juice, rain, heavy, a lot of moisture in the air. This is through Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Just a lot of moisture in the air. No dry air. And this is all the way to Sunday. This is Tuesday, Wednesday next week. Now, notice what I was talking about down here. This is the Euro. Notice all this juice. This is that high, pushing all that juice through Mexico there, Central America. So, if this high was to get a little weaker, some of that juice could possibly try to get going maybe for Western Gulf. That's, like I'm saying, if we look at future areas of potential, this would be where you would look at. But a lot of wind shear, we'll see. But just a lot of moisture. And that's just the flow pattern we're in all the way to next Friday. That's Friday of next week. And then kind of fizzles out a little bit. We don't look too far ahead. But a lot of moisture. You know, Belize, we got a lot of people watching down in Belize. Let's pull up a bigger map of Central America here. Let's do Caribbean. And, you know, just follow the waves. All that juice. Red is juicy air. Greens are dry air. There you go. And that drier air, some of that's dust, some of it's dry air, and it's helping keep those waters from getting too hot, but they're still hot. And there you go. A lot of moisture heading towards Caribbean a week from Sunday. This is the 22nd. That's a long way away. Too far to look at, really. But there's a wave. You can see the waves popping. There's a wave right there. This is next Tuesday. We're looking at we're looking at Lesser Antilles right now. Wave. Let's see. Boom. And then here comes another one. Boom. And like I showed yesterday, waves are normal part of the year. We get them, tropical waves, wave, wave, wave. Next one's setting up, and they come across. Anytime this ITCZ line is low like this, all this stuff usually skirts and ends up popping over here and then getting going over here. So the stronger this high is, more of these waves come around. I was showing Mike Soul yesterday. Irma came off around 10 degrees right around the Cape Verde Islands. That's usually this area right here is when this line is a little to the north. Storms have a better chance to make it to the Caribbean and possibly get going. Barrow last year was just south of Cape Verde Islands last year, and we watched it come across. So the stronger this high is, the lower our monsoonal trough is, then the storms have less of a chance to get into that Caribbean with the current pattern. That's where we're at. Current pattern. Let me show you the storms. A lot of people like these little maps. This is 3 days ago, the 607. These are all the wind reports that we had. We had 553 wind reports on, was that Sunday? The 7th? 8, 9. Saturday? Saturday. The 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, Saturdays. But look at that. Crazy, right? 553 wind reports on Saturday. Here's Sunday. We had that system move off to the East Coast, and we had another one starting to brew here. This is where we had some of those tornadoes, big winds, huge wind reports. Texas, Oklahoma. That Morton, I think it was Morton, Texas, had that crazy radar signature. And then here's yesterday's storm reports. We had some wind reports down in Florida, down in lower Mississippi. Couple we had 126 wind reports yesterday. We had quite a few across the upper Gulf there yesterday from that storm system that came across through the night. So there's that. And that is that. Oh, outside wedding, Palmetto, Saturday. Patricia, well, what would I do at this point in the game? Well, more than anything, you're kind of worried about morning rains or afternoon rains. I mean, the weather pattern that we're in right now. I guess if it was me, the first thing I would probably look at is this. I'd probably go to the Windy and look at Euro. Windy defaults to Euro, and looking at these wind barbs will tell you a lot. So let's go to Friday. See, Friday's back to a little bit stronger high. See, there's our afternoon thunderstorms. Typically, when we have this weather pattern here, we have more afternoon thunderstorms across the state pushing west. This is Friday, 5 p.m. Saturday, 6 a.m. A little more East Coast. Here's Saturday, noontime. I think we're going to be looking for storms in the middle part of the state, pushing in off of that towards the West Coast. Yeah, see, there's 3 p.m. So, hey, Steve, thank you, buddy. So the weather pattern is definitely coming in from that's the only time living in where I live and what I'm learning about Upper Gulf too, Panama area. It's pretty much the rains which direction they're going to go. They're going to be more morning inland, or they're going to be more inland west for me, or East Coast. So it's the flow. A lot of it's at Bermuda High, And it looks like the weekend we're going to have inland storms developing, which brings a little more morning action to the East Coast and more afternoon, evening action for the West Coast. This is Saturday. So, one more thing. Oh, one more thing you can cheat here. This is a really cool tool right here. So there's two things I got on my site. NWS right here, you type in your location, and then also the one right underneath it, the forecast points. I love. This gets updated so many times, and I think a lot of it's based on HRR data, but it's from the National Weather Service, and you can zoom in on what area you want to look at. So let's look at Palmetto, since we had a wedding coming up, and that's where I was born and raised, Palmetto, right across from the Manatee River. Saturday rain chances are 44. That ain't bad. 49. Friday's a little more. You can look at time here. You can scoot. I don't know how many days ahead it goes. So let's look at Saturday. Let's look at, all right, this is cool. This is kind of what we're looking at. All right, yep, just what I said. Probability of precipitation Saturday morning, 11, 11, 21, 21, 21, 20, 21. Highest chances are afternoon, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And look at the wind change, wind direction. See the wind direction? That's your inland winds. And then the winds shift and they come back in from the inland there. So there's your 2 p.m. So early afternoon should be good. Hopefully it's a noontime winning. But definitely afternoon thunder showers. And that's not everybody. You know, the coverage area is only 49%, which means not everybody's going to get it. That's a coverage area. When you see... And here's your heat index is always hottest right before it starts to get stormy, 95 degrees at 2 p.m. But when you see percentages, it's basically the coverage area for your area. So if it's 50-50, your neighbor's going to get it and you ain't. You got a 50-50 chance. Hey, Teresa. Thunderstorm coming. See you in the next one, Gus. Oh, thank you, Dad Wagon. I see it over there, buddy. Thank you, bud, for mentioning that about Hunter. Yeah, it's so sad. No, definitely not as bad as it was yesterday, though. It was hard. The Rays game, Chelsea. Oh, my God, the Rays game. What about that new pitcher? What was his name? His debut. Talk about the Rays having confidence in their pitching. They brought in this kid first start yesterday with the 10th inning, and they let him go to the 11th, and he won with 2 strikeouts, having to get 4 outs with that error of the 10th. We got some hitters, man, and we got some young kids, man. Meisner, I love. Magnum, I love. The third, what's Julie knows all these guys. Yeah, who? Cabanero. Is he the fast one? Yeah. Who's the one that runs really fast? I don't know. Josh Lowe's really good. Brandon's consistent. Diaz is awesome. We got really, it's fun. Just when we get, the problem with the Rays is just as we get excited and I know all the players, then they trade them all. Seymour, that's right, Eric. So. All right, well, hey, listen, thanks everybody for tuning in. Good to see my good buddy Greg from Furman online. We love them to death. They do so much for me in our pages. We're gearing up for an end of the year benefit party. It's going to be the full weekend after Thanksgiving. Not the Thanksgiving weekend, but the weekend after that, like December 5th. We got a band on Friday night. We're going to have, it's at, I can't really tell you the location yet, but, and we'll have our cruise details for the following June coming out really soon in the Margaritaville. So looking forward to a lot of fun stuff coming up and talking weather along the way. James, I think the Vimeo that they use is a little bad today over there on our chat, so apologize for that. So, but we'll be back for tomorrow. Remember Thursday I'm in Orlando doing a big function with the state, so that's important. You know, I gotta weigh what's important, and that's important. And then Friday I'll be watching Emily softball. That's important. And I'll be doing a 90-second reel, which gets a lot of views. So I'll always keep you up to date, as always, and appreciate you watching. And we're learning weather together along the way, sharing some stories, and yeah. So we will see everyone tomorrow. And we're going to stay live on the Brew Crew for about 10 or 15 minutes and say our goodbyes over there. So if your Brew Crew